All right, everyone. There's some scuttlebutt from the legacy media that right now Donald Trump's team is kind of optioning the concept of preemptive strikes on Iran. This, I guess, ties in a little bit to the New Jersey drone story, although from the pictures that I've seen and the insinuations that I've seen, as well as local individuals contacting me, I don't think those are Iranian drones at all. I think they're U.S. government, so I don't think that's going to be really a problem. I think it's some sort of military test, basically like maybe missile defense or something like that. Will Trump strike Iran? I am very skeptical of that. I'm skeptical of this particular report. Donald Trump has repeatedly weighed in on geopolitics. And generally speaking, while he's not a complete isolationist and he's certainly not a pacifist, he tends to be averse to the concept of this kind of strike being used. And the reason why is because he's seen enough of war, I think, honestly. Probably doesn't want Barron to get drafted or something like that because the kid's a giant, so he doesn't want him to have to go march off into some desert or something like that. I'm very skeptical of this report. What I think is happening here is blackpilling by liberals. I think that they're trying to muddy the waters and convince, like, Donald Trump's core fan base that Orange Man bad, basically. I don't think that there will be preemptive strikes on Iran. Now, I know that Donald Trump has been unabashedly pro-Israel, a stance that I don't fully agree with because I tend towards neutrality on the issue. It's like Israel and Palestine and the Lebanese and other groups in the area all sort of have their own grievances. But I don't think that he would be willing to okay actual strikes on the Iranians. I think it'd be a bad idea. By the way, I'll point this out as well. And this is to the core MAGA fans, many of which, subscribe to my channel. If Donald Trump does strike the Iranians, and there isn't a damn good reason why, I'll be one of the first and only content creators probably to complain about it. It's sort of like when he got elected in 2016. One of the first things that he said was, well, maybe we should reopen those CIA black sites in order to interrogate people. What did I do at the time? I criticized him and crucified him actually over the issue and said that's a terrible idea. You're gonna give more power to this government agency that clearly hates you. While he's not making that kind of mistake, generally at the moment, there's always the possibility of a foreign policy blunder. So we do have to keep a weather eye out. I'm just skeptical of whether it would actually happen. It doesn't seem like Donald Trump is the kind of world leader who would be likely to engage in such behavior. I do not want to preemptively strike the Iranians. No Iranian ever fucked me in the ass. No Iranian ever screwed me over. Iran's fine. Who cares? Yes, it's an authoritarian regime, but there's like 100 of those in the world. Hell, look at Europe. There are plenty of authoritarian regimes there too. We don't need to strike them or do anything about them. It's not our business. It's not our fight. The original founding goal of the United States was basically leave other people alone unless they won't leave us alone, and then we act. Form the militia. Send out the pirates Andrew Jackson style or something like that, like we did in the War of 1812. Trump, I think, has effectively the same ideology that I do with regards to foreign policy, which is that if someone is fucking with your shit, go ahead, haul off at them. And if somebody's not doing anything at least directly to you, you shouldn't do anything at all. I find the level of support for Israel in the U.S. Congress especially sometimes to be rather disconcerting. Just putting that out there. We've got a bunch of dual citizens in Congress, especially within the U.S. Senate, and it seems like they're more concerned with Israel's security than with our own border. This disconcerts me. It is frightening. But that being said, I don't have any problem with Israel in and of itself, but I also don't have a problem with Iran. I just don't care. These countries, they're half a world away. They're in the Middle East. They have nothing to do with the Western Hemisphere. They have nothing to do with the Americas. I believe in Pax Americana myself, personally. I think that Trump believes in that as well. So again, I'm skeptical of these reports. And of course, as usual, it's like a report states, okay, well, where did the report come from? Unconfirmed source in the White House. Who? Who is exactly saying that Donald Trump is going to strike the Iranians preemptively? because I'm not seeing a name. I'm not seeing any credentials or credibility with regards to the report. It sounds like a bunch of liberal bullshit. It sounds like basically liberals realizing that Trump is going to take office. There's nothing that they can do to stop him unless they kill him, and they've failed several times, so they're probably not fairly hopeful about that. It sounds like they're just sort of trying to turn off core MAGA to Donald Trump, if that makes any sense. Like, hey, he's going to attack the Iranians. Yeah, Mazayan Dawn. Something like that. Some crazy bullshit. And that's probably what it is. I don't think we're going to end up in a war with Iran under a Donald Trump leadership. I'm much more worried about the next few weeks where Joe Biden is still the president of the United States. I'm much more worried about that because look at how many things are popping off. You've got Syria, you've got Israel, you've got Palestine, possibly Taiwan. We're not sure. You've got Ukraine and all of these other things, the Afghan withdrawal. So many foreign policy blunders, whereas the Trump administration, I think, will try to do an actually good job. It's just that they're trying to burn the barn down on the way out the door, so to speak. That's sort of what it feels like. They're trying to lay enough traps for Trump that his presidency will be seen as a failure, simply because they decided to screw things up before, the new administration was able to come into office. I'm much more worried about the possibility that Joe Biden would do such a thing than that Donald Trump would do such a thing. I don't think that he's interested in war with Iran. And according to the same liberals, by the way, Donald Trump is a Russian puppet. Why, therefore, would he strike a Russian asset? Because Iran is one of the closest allies of the Russians. Why the hell would he even do that? And so I think that this is coming from black-pilled liberals more than anything else, I think. That's about all. Peace out.